Do people have a right to communicate their views? It doesn't matter what those views are, Alex Jones's views or anyone else's views. They may be misguided, they may be repugnant. Often they are. But there's a remedy for repugnant views. Make a counter case. Defeat bad ideas with good ideas. Kill lies with truth. That's how healthy societies function. We are moving in the opposite direction.
Hi everyone, Lisa Haven here. What you just heard was Tucker Carlson on Fox News and mainstream media explaining to the world how censorship of these big tech agencies has gone above and beyond and how they are censoring their political opposition into oblivion. He even brings up Alex Jones and says it's not a matter of whether or not you agree with him, it's a matter of free speech. But he even takes it one step further and exposes how the mainstream media is lying to you, well, about Alex Jones and about freedom of speech. Take a listen.
The left will tell you that defending Alex Jones's right to speak is the same as defending what Alex Jones says. That is a lie, and they know it's a lie. In a free country, everyone can be heard. In totalitarian societies, only the powerful can be heard.
Just because you stand with our freedom of speech doesn't mean you have to stand with the beliefs and values of Alex Jones. It's not about his beliefs. And the left would tell you that, hey, if you agree that he should have a public platform, you agree with what he says. That's a lie. The truth of the matter is you can agree or disagree with someone, and they still have a right to say it. Tucker Carlson even expanded, and I agree 100%, and he said, freedom and freedom of the internet, freedom of speech is your freedom to say what you want to say. As long as you're not hurting or harming people or enacting violence, you can say that. Whether you agree or disagree is beside the point. But when you get into a country who tells you what you can and cannot say, that's totalitarianism. And that could be and is where we're headed if we don't make our voices heard now. But Tucker even goes on to admit that it's not just Alex Jones that they're after. Take a listen.
And Jones is hardly their only target, that's for sure. Virtually every day, the big tech companies censor someone else whose political opinions they disagree with. You see it all the time.
And they're already censoring multiple news outlets, alternative news specifically. But you know what? He goes on to state the real problem. Take a listen.
In the words of a perceptive essay this week, quote, censorship is what happens when powerful people get scared. That piece was written by a former Wall Street executive called Michael Krieger, and it's worth quoting at length here. Elites aren't afraid of what Alex Jones says, Krieger writes. They're terrified that it's popular. They're in denial about the consequences of the world they created. Trump didn't divide American society. Alex Jones didn't cause our widespread and, by the way, justified distrust in institutions. Elites did that with their spectacular failures.
So who's to blame? The elites themselves. Censorship is what happens, and I love that, when powerful people are scared. Because they see a movement and they see a rise from President Trump getting elected to Alex Jones's voice getting heard. These are symptoms of the corruption found by the elites, by the globalists. People see what's happening in politics. They see how screwed up our system are, and they see these progressive Obama-era, Hillary Clinton-style agendas that they're attempting to push on us and put us into plantation for all, as Dinesh D'Souza writes, into slavery, and they see it. So the symptoms of a problem are why we see Trump coming up and voices like Alex Jones being heard, alternative channels like mine speaking up truth. This is what happens from something that's already corrupt at nature. It's not the fault of Alex Jones or President Trump. It's their own corruption. Censorship is what happens because these powerful people are scared. But you know what? President Trump even went on a Twitter rampage talking about this censorship. And I'm going to toss it up on the screen. Here's what he had to say. Social media is totally discriminating against Republican conservative voices, speaking loudly and clearly for the Trump administration. We won't let that happen. They are closing down the opinions of many people on the right while at the same time doing nothing to others. Censorship is a very dangerous thing and absolutely impossible to police. If you are weeding out fake news, there is nothing so fake as CNN and MSNBC, and yet I do not ask that their sick behavior be removed. Because everyone has that right, by the way. I get used to it and watch it with a grain of salt, or I do not watch it at all. Too many voices are being destroyed, some good, some bad. And that cannot be allowed to happen. Who is making the choices? Because I can already tell you that too many mistakes are being made. Let everybody participate, good and bad. And we will all just have to figure it out. Amen. It's not about what voice is being heard. If you want to be a liberal and push socialism and junk like that, go on right ahead. I don't agree with you. And I will stand on the other side of the fence and push the opposite and expose the corruption within socialism and how literally every socialist country has failed or led into some form of communism. I surely do not want that. And I surely don't want a Nazi-style socialism either. But thankfully, we have powerful people who are standing against the corruption. We have powerful people who are scared and censoring to oblivion. And we have powerful people who are standing against the corruption. Anyhow, don't forget, if you like what you heard, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, and share it on all your social media outlets. Because as you know, with shadow banning and everything else, it's the only way that a lot of these channels are getting out is through you sharing them. So I encourage you to do that and subscribe to my backup channel. Well, thanks again for tuning in. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.